Hi, it's Tracy here. In the last video, I talked about, are you inviting your partner into their masculine and feminine? Are you inviting them into the polar arc that we have? Or are you trying to take their place? Now, let me explain that a little bit more. The world itself is quite masculine. When you have feminine energy and you have masculine energy, in order to keep your percentage of that energy high, it's not like you have 80% feminine, say, and 20% masculine, and it's going to stay that way. Unless I take time to cultivate my feminine, to nourish that 80% of me, which is done through cultivating the feminine, through movement and breath work and creativity and feeling and all of those things that the beautiful feminine is. The world itself, all those things that I spoke about, it's not something that people do on a daily basis. It's not something that the world at large encourages. The world at large actually encourages us daily to cultivate our masculine. And when we cultivate our masculine, we're out in the doing, we're out in the making money world, we're out in the reaching goals, we're doing the things, we're striving out towards to get what it is that we need. We have that focus on the goal. That's a very masculine energy. And the world, as you know, and corporate anything in the world is very much a masculine place. It's definitely not a place that cultivates the feminine. And that's a place where so many of us live and work. And when you're out there doing that, you're cultivating your masculine energy. So as women who actually normally have a higher percentage of feminine energy, we've actually spent a lot of time cultivating our masculine energy, but not cultivating our feminine energy. So we feel really comfortable in our masculine because that's what the world has taught us to do and be. And it's where we get celebrated when we step into our masculine. We get rewarded for being more masculine. We don't actually get rewarded for being in our feminine. Okay, those things are seen as creative pursuits and a bit of a waste of time, and you're never going to make money doing those things. So they're not celebrated within society. So we are very good as women, especially strong women, at cultivating our masculine. The stronger we are, the more masculine energy that we're taking on in certain situations and people, but more often than not. And now to understand what happens in couples is you need to understand what each of the masculine and the feminine want. What the feminine wants is to absolutely surrender to her masculine. She wants to surrender to the masculine when she's got the polar arc that's going over the top. What the feminine desires more than anything is to be able to absolutely rest and let him lead. She doesn't actually want to lead. She wants to flow. But what happens so much is through our feminist movement, of which I am a part. I'm not saying not to be a feminist, not to speak up for yourself, not to do what it is that you want to do, not to achieve your goals, do all of that. But understand what part of yourself you're cultivating as you're doing them. And ask yourself, can you do them in a more feminine way than in that masculine way? And you can. And I can teach you how. But let's keep going on this for now. The feminine wants to surrender to the masculine partner. That is what she yearns for. She actually yearns to be able to hand it over. But because the feminine, and this is the rise of the patriarchy as well, and the rise of the toxic masculine that has been happening, the drive and the narcissism and all the things that are going on out there, the strive to achieve no matter what. And let's just rip the world up and the earth up as we're doing it. Let's take no responsibility for what it is that we're doing around the place, but we have achieved our goals. So, you know, who cares? There's a lot of toxic masculinity that's been cultivated on the planet in the last few centuries. So what happens is when the feminine sits with the toxic masculine, or the masculine that hasn't been cultivated from the place of his heart, she says, I can't surrender to you because I don't trust you. In order for a woman to completely trust her man and completely give over to her man and melt melt and dissolve and be ourselves and let our softness out and show our heart, we need to be able to see in our man his presence. We need to be able to feel that he's in his body. We need to be able to feel that when he's talking to us, every word is just for us and there's nothing else in the world that he needs to do right now other than speak to us. He's not got 100 things going on in his mind, because if he does, we can feel it. And if our man speaks to us and he's not in his body, we actually feel pain in the feminine. The feminine actually feels pain in her body. And what happens is when a woman feels pain in her body, is she will think, he didn't put the bins out. He didn't do what he said he was going to do. And it becomes an argument about words. And it becomes an argument about he said, she said, well, you said, but you didn't do, and you did. And, you know, we've all done it. We've all heard it before. We know what the arguments are. We've done them 1,000 times or more. What the feminine is saying every single time, no matter what comes out of her mouth, the one thing she is saying is, I can't feel you right now. That's all it is. That is the only words she is ever, even though it sounds like you didn't put the bins out, you didn't do this, you weren't available for me today, all she is saying is, I can't feel you right now. And if the masculine partner can understand that, the way to actually take this woman out of her head and stop her speaking is to do the breath work, breathe into your body in the masculine way, cultivate your masculine in the moment, become very present. And once you come back into your body and become present, she will forget what it is she was talking about. She will have absolutely no idea what it was, because the pain's gone away in her body and her nervous system can rest, and she can just sit in her body and rest into your presence. If that sounds like something that you would really love to learn with your partner, then shoot me a DM or book in for a session, because I'd really love to support you. I do divorce coaching, but what I love doing even more is supporting couples to not even get to that place, because I believe you've come together for a reason. Divorce is okay, there's no problem with divorcing at all, but if it's something as simple as we can't communicate, I would love to teach you how to do that from your body, so that you can learn to take these beautiful gifts into the world. And if you would like to learn how to do that, shoot me a DM or book with me via the website, and I really look forward to meeting you soon.